Hey, welcome, veterans, to another exciting episode of Facebook Live here at VA Claims Insider. With me today is Dr. Travis Brobst, our training manager. And how you doing today, Travis?
I'm doing good, Darrell. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Hey, while we're kind of waiting to get started here, if we could have veterans pop in to the comments, just where you're from, what branch of service you served in. Um, more so let's have you put in there where you currently reside, because veterans move around everywhere. So let's go ahead and have you put in there where you currently reside, what branch of service you were in, and we'll give some shout outs here. All right.
Hey, us veterans, if you ask us where we're from, I'm going to probably, it's going to take more than two hands for me to really explain that. We typically, we're very transient during our careers, and we continue to be transient. So, yeah, just let us know where you're dialing in from, where you're currently living. Let us know your branch of service and also the years that you served. So,
Yeah.
Darrell here, Marine Corps, right?
Yeah, I served in the Marine Corps from 87 right after high school to 91. Yep, I just aged myself there.
Nice.
Got out after the first Gulf War, and yep, it's been all uphill since.
Fantastic, man. I was one in 1991. I was around. But yeah, I was a weekend warrior. I was in the Missouri Army National Guard. So I'm sure that I've got some people here. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up. I know that there's probably some of you watching that are either in the reserves or in the Guard, or you were. And you've probably been told over and over again that VA disability is not for you, and that it's only for the active duty folks. And I'm here to tell you that that's simply not the case at all, right? So if that happens to be you, just know that we can help you.
Absolutely. Let's do some shout outs here. I see a lot of my Marine Corps brothers coming in here. Kenny Lucian, San Francisco Bay Area, Marine Corps, Ura, 89 to 93. We got Robbie May, was in the Navy from 75 to 94. That's quite a career. That is awesome.
Got a lot of Navy people today.
Yep. A lot of Navy people. It's an interesting fact that you bring up that National Guard being able to get service connected, because back when I was rating specialist, it was really difficult for anybody in the National Guard. Usually you had to be activated and have a DD-214, but things have kind of changed with some them opening up some things for National Guard veterans, and it was a real game changer for those National Guardists.
Yes, right. Yep. And we kind of follow the same lines with some of the reservists as well. Kind of both have some of the same challenges. Whether you're in the Guard or the reserves, you probably kind of have that stigma like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be successful. You probably heard things. And just like Darrell said, just know that there's been a lot of changes. We've come a long ways. Oh, yeah. My goodness. Hey, Darrell, we got a retired Marine Corps guy. Like, 20 years in the Marine Corps? Oh, wow, you got to be crazy to do that. No, I'm just messing with you.
I used to joke around when I was working for the VA. I'd joke around and say, 4 years in the Marine Corps is like 16 years in the Air Force.
Love it.
Yeah, those Air Force people, they didn't care for that too much.
I tell you what, if I could do it all over again, knowing what I know now, I would not have been in the Army Guard. I would have been in the Air Guard, because the Air Guard, those guys and girls, they got hotel rooms when they went to their drill weekend or their trainings or whatever.
Yeah.
I got a green government issued cot. All right. That's what I got. And I was packed in a room.
My brother was in the Air Force. So I'm from central Iowa. Actually, I'm from northeastern Iowa. But he got stationed out in Omaha at Offutt Air Force Base. And I went out to visit him. I came home on leave, and I drove out to visit him, and they had co-ed dorms. That's what they were called, dorms. And here I was living in an open squad bay with about 45 of my closest friends. Hey, there's Jen.
Your green cot.
Hi.
My green cot and half a tent. That's what I had. Yep. Hey, a special shout out to a lot of those Vietnam veterans that are out there coming on board and watching this. Welcome home. It's awesome to see so many Vietnam veterans taking interest in getting their claims moving along. And I think the VA is doing a really good job of opening up those presumptive conditions for them as well. So yeah, welcome here. Welcome.
Yes. So I see some of you are dialing in from some of the southern states. It is my dream. I realize that I do not want to live in the South, but I would love to have a winter home in the South. And I don't care if it's a trailer. I will go buy some land, put up a little trailer, and just have a place to go from like January through March. I'll be content. Where I live, and it's probably going to hit Darrell too. He's up in Iowa. I'm in Northeast Missouri. But I think we've got some severe winter weather getting ready to hit us at the end of this week. So
yeah, tonight, as a matter of fact, it's supposed to hit tonight. Yep.
Wow.
But we just had that. We had 65-degree weather, and then we had those terrible tornadoes that came through and caused a lot of destruction and actually caused 6 deaths also.
Oh my
goodness. Was on Saturday, and then Sunday we had 6 inches of snow fall on us. So welcome to the prairie.
Extremes, right?
Mother Nature is all confused. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I am senior veteran coach Darrell. I did work for the VA for 11 years. I was a rating specialist for 6.5 of that. Today we are going to talk about 100% permanent and total. And we kind of have a panel here. We've got Travis and we've got Coach Jenn. Coach Jenn, you want to do a quick introduction since you were a little having some issues with your internet?
I don't understand how that works. You must just be too big of an entity for both of us to share the same internet. So I'm veteran coach Jenn Chess. I've been with VA Claims Insider for just over a year. And I am literally living the dream, doing the most fulfilling thing I've ever done with my life. I am the daughter, significant other, and mother of Marines. I have another one who is graduating in May and heading off to boot camp in June. So Marine Corps is kind of the family business here. And the best thing I could do with my life is support our nation's veterans in any way that I possibly can. And it's not an accident that I fell into this role.
Coach Jenn, I think you should go ahead and disclose the relationship that you might have with another Marine as well.
You called me significant other. I don't understand.
Significant other. So SVC Darrell and I are engaged. We'll be getting married in the next 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, I think we're at 25 days.
Gotta be excited about that, right?
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Oh man,
I was told I had to be.
Yeah.
So you two, what are some different types of 100% people can get? Because I know there's some confusion out there on what's available for veterans to get to 100% or to have 100%. What are some different types of 100%? Travis?
Sure. So I'll just go ahead and lay out the framework. So those of you that watched last week, we specifically went over the benefits from 0 to 90%. Okay. And we stayed away from the 100% and the 100% P&T benefits, because we wanted you to be aware of the benefits that you could get along your journey, because there's a lot of different milestone events that you can get. And then also we have to accept the fact that not everybody will get 100%. However, if 100% is a goal of yours and you feel that you deserve 100%, we're going to fight for you as much as we can fight for you. We'll do everything in our power to help you get there. And so today we're going to cover those benefits of 100% permanent total. And I want you to think of 100% permanent total as the ultimate goal, like the grand prize per se. But there's actually 3 different types of 100%. There's TDIU. There's 100% regular scheduler 100%. And then there's permanent total. So TDIU is not something that we recommend around here. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. But if you're at 70% disability, 80% disability, or 90% disability, and you're having a hard time to get the mathematics to get you to 100, well, TDIU could be a route to go. But the problem about TDIU is that there's serious income limitations on it. So if you're still like wanting to have a career and a job, it's going to make it very, very difficult to do that, right? And it's just not a way we really recommend. In some cases we would, but in most we don't. Now, getting to the good stuff, 100% is exactly what it sounds. That means that mathematically you're at 100%. That's 100% regular and scheduled. And there are benefits for that. but then the next level up is 100% permanent and total. And that's where it's really, really at. And we're going to break down all these benefits, but 100% permanent total is where you want to be. Now, what I would say is that over my 2.5 years as a coach here, I would say that 60 to 70% of the time, when somebody gets to 100%, meaning, you know, they're at 93% and they get that one more disability to take them to 100, because you only got to make it to 95, because 95 rounds to 100. So at that point, you're 100%, right? So with that being said, 60 to 70% of the time, people are automatically issued 100% permanent and total the moment they hit that 100% map, okay? The other 1/3, there's a process to get their 100% upgraded to P&T. On March 3rd, 2020, I hit my 100%. I was part of that 1/3 that did not get it right away, but there are things that we can do to help you get that upgraded. And I've been talking for a little bit, so I'm going to shut up and let Darrell or Jenn talk now.
Yeah, let's direct it down to Jenn with the Jenn. So once you get to 100%, what do you know? What would be one reason why you wouldn't be considered permanent and total? Travis talked about 60 to 70% of the time it's almost mandatory, or almost immediate. But what is something that might keep you from getting that 100% permanent and total?
So 100% permanent and total is based on static conditions. So static means that it is not likely to improve. Okay, well, that's what permanent means. Permanent means not likely to improve. So permanent and total is based on your conditions all. So either your combined rating equaling 100% or one condition rating rated at 100% being a static condition, not likely to improve. Okay, so if you are 100% service connected for 3 or 4 conditions, you can refer to your code sheet. It's typically in your C file. It used to be part of the decision narratives, but now it's a separate document that's kept in your C file. And you can identify which conditions that you're rated for are not considered static. So, and if they're not considered static, then you're likely scheduled for a routine future exam to reevaluate that condition to see if it has in fact improved. Okay, so if you are 100% service connected, or when you become 100%, if you're not P&T, that is because you have a condition or conditions that are likely to improve as per the VA.
Awesome. That's absolutely right. So, and we can help with that. So if you are 100%, but you're not permanent in total, reach out to us. Absolutely reach out to us. And Aaron will put there's 2 different ways you can reach out to us. You can either just reach out and become a regular client, or you can do a 30-minute discovery call. Or I'm sorry, that's just a discovery call with us. And we can discuss the options. You can get connected with a coach right away, discuss those options. But Jenn is absolutely right. So when a condition is 100% and it's not static because there's a routine future exam somewhere along the line, somebody said your condition is going to get better. So therefore, they usually set up what's called a routine future exam. And it's the VA just a few years back, they just changed the ruling on that. And they went from whenever the RVSR basically felt like doing it to 5 years. So if you're at PTSD for 70% and it's not static, you have a routine future exam, it'll be 5 years out before they'll even look at it again. Okay, so that's when you can get that. You can get a letter from a doctor basically saying that your condition will not get better, and that will help you out as far as getting that service connection. So what are some of the benefits that come along with that 100% permanent total? I know there's state benefits and there's federal, right?
There are so many. And what I would like to do is kind of break it down by a layer. So first, let's just say that you're not quite at 100% P&T. You're one of the unlucky 1/3 like I was, okay? The moment you hit 100%, it doesn't matter if it's TDIU, regular scheduled 100%, or P&T, okay? The moment you hit any type of 100%, you will qualify for VA dental, okay? Prior to 100%, the only way you could qualify for VA dental is if you had a service-connected dental issue, all right? So now I know some of you are like, oh, you know, that's a small bit. It's not a super big. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. They made me a mouth guard. Apparently I grind at night. I hardly ever wear it just because it sucks to put it in your mouth. But, you know, that would cost me $500 at a private dentist. Okay. On Monday, I get to have my first crown put in. All right. That would normally be a $2,000 procedure. And it is something that I don't have to worry about. And even if I had dental insurance, I'd still have to pay a lot for that crown because usually insurance would only cover half of a major dental expense. So to me, having that dental care is big peace of mind. Now, as many of you already know, once you pass 50% disability, all of your health care is covered at the VA. So that's obviously the benefits that come at subsequent levels will continue through 100% permanent total. So those are both really big deals. But this one is going to be really important to you if you took out federal student loans. You took out private student loans, that's a different story. But if you took out federal student loans, all right, before you get 100%, so like maybe you went to college, you went to graduate school, and like most Americans, you found yourself in debt, okay? Even with the GI Bills. Well, there is student loan forgiveness when you hit 100%, okay? There are several people in this organization that have had over $250,000 in student loan wiped out. I'm not bullshitting you. This is real. We know these people in our organization that have had this happen.
Yeah, I just had a veteran that had $70,000 worth. So if you're looking at getting 100% permanent total, which, by the way, if you're 100% permanent total, unlike IU or TDIU, there is no income limit. Once you're permanent total, you can. I'm permanent total. I'm 100% permanent total. There is no income limit. You can make as much money as you want to make. So yeah, and that was just kind of one of the questions in there, but there's no limit on it. Dental benefits, you start looking at $2,000, $3,000 for a root canal, you know, plus the student loan waive, the federal student loan waiving, $70,000. I had $17,000 was all I had left for my student loan, and it was all waived. So you're talking $3,000+ a month, plus not having to pay that student loan payment anymore. That's what do they say, winner chicken dinner, right, Jen?
Yeah, actually, you had 17,000 left, but we actually got a surprise check in the mail where they went back and paid him for the student loans that he had already paid. So once we got the notice that his current balances were paid off, that was fantastic. We were thrilled. He was already almost there, but then, you know, at 6 weeks later, a paper check came in the mail paying him for his federal student loans. So everything that he had paid over the 15, 20 years just showed up in the mail one day. So, I mean, that's a pretty kick-ass benefit.
And that buys a lot of beard oil. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you've got student loan debt, like that's probably like the biggest benefit that happens at the 100% level. But now we're going to go a step further, and we're going to say that not only are you 100%, but you've got that 100% permanent and total designation. All right. I want to point out that just on this call, like we got two different states on this call. We got Iowa and Missouri on this call. We have a lot of colleagues in Texas. I happen to know Florida and Texas benefits very, very, very well, just because we have a high number of veterans that live in those states, and they're also considered to be the most veteran-friendly states. So we will tease a little bit on state benefits. Now, we're not going to get too in-depth on state benefits because, number one, we don't have time to do that. We've got probably every state in the union present today. We're not going to be able to do that, but what we would encourage you to do is just do some research. The internet is your friend. You know, Google VA disability benefits at 100%, Missouri or California, New York, wherever the heck you're from.
Or get Brian's book. Brian's book is down at the bottom of the screen right there.
Oh, yes. Oh, this book, by the way, it has a breakdown of all the states and their benefits, and then also of all the companies that offer discounts, not to just current military people, but also veterans as well. So I think that's handy. It even has like some online stores that would surprise you. I was very surprised with some of the names that I saw in there.
So down the benefits by state. So this is Florida. And there's pages on every state. So it's not just 100% in the book. It's the the veteran benefits that are available to you as a veteran and whatever rating that you're at that's appropriate. I mean, this is priceless. I sent this when this came out as gifts to my family, friends. I mean, there's just all the benefits are in there, and you don't have to be 100%.
I bought it for my dad for his birthday. Jerry, and we're not in Q&A yet, but I see that and I don't want to miss it. So most federal student loans are, you know, there might be a private lender that facilitates the loans, okay? But the reality is it's still a federal student loan because it's backed by the federal government. So, I mean, I know that was the case for me. So yes, that would be forgiven. It's just that if I went to Wells Fargo and I had a student loan directly through Wells Fargo and it wasn't backed through the federal student loan program, then it couldn't be forgiven. Now, the big benefits, and I'm going to introduce them, and I'm going to let Jenn and Darrell kind of break them down at the federal level. So this is going to apply to everybody. Doesn't matter where in the country you are. ChampVA for dependents. Okay, that's number one. And number two is educational assistance for dependents. So I think we should go ahead and start with ChampVA. It's healthcare. Wow, Darrell, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it? What does that entail?
Yeah, ChampVA is awesome. So it is for your spouse and children. Once you hit that 100% permanent total, it is something that you do have to go to the ChampVA website and apply for. But basically, it covers your healthcare needs for your spouse and your child. So a lot of people carry that independent insurance, and this can act in what's the word I'm looking for, Jenn? It works with your insurance. So
as a secondary,
right. So it can essentially get rid of those copays and cover your family for medical visits. ChampVA is behind right now. A lot of things are behind due to the COVID experience that we've all had, but it is out there. It is a benefit that's available for your spouse and your children. And I get asked a lot of times, so I'm 100% permanent total. Can I get my parents on that? Unfortunately, no. It's just for your spouse and your children. And it's for your children up to age 26, I believe, if they're in college. Other than that, it follows the normal healthcare rules. Did you have more to add to that, Jenn? Do you know more? Okay.
Nope.
All right. TRICARE, if you have TRICARE, TRICARE covers your that's what you get when you retire, TRICARE. So ChampVA would essentially
be a secondary.
Yeah, or not effective at all. So usually with TRICARE. So it looks like Travis jumped out, so I guess we're on our own. Yay!
So DEA.
Dependents Education Assistance. It's actually called Chapter 35 benefits. And what it is, it's an awesome benefit. It's so if you have either your spouse or your spouse or your children are going to school, to an accredited college or a trade school, it actually pays them while they're in school. And I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I know my daughter got it while she was going to school, but I'm not exactly, I know it's based on how often you go to school, like if you're full-time, part-time, half-time, whatever you are. I'm not sure as far as how much money they get. Do you have a little bit more insight on that, Jenn?
I don't. I honestly, based on experience, just Roxana. And, depending on what her time was, she was full-time. And I believe that at some point she was getting deposited to her to cover her expenses, and her tuition was $1,500 a month. I do know that to go through getting this set up, most of the colleges have in their financial aid offices, they have a person who works specifically with the federal benefits. So not necessarily just VA, but they're working with all the federal benefits that are available to students. So you should have a resource at your school to help you get started with this. Again, this is with 100% P&T. This is for spouse and for kiddos.
Right, for spouse and for children. So, welcome back, Travis.
Hey, thank you all. Go figure. This is just how it would go. Lowe's, Usually they're a couple days behind, but they decided to be a day early today. They delivered my new floors. So they were calling me and they were at my door. I had to go out there and sign a document. So sorry about that all, but I came back in. It looked like we just covered ChampVA.
Well, we covered ChampVA. We're on chapter 35 right now, or DEA, education assistance. Now with that education assistance too, and I know that they're a little backed up also, but like Jen was saying, there's usually a VA or a veterans representative at, not a VA representative, but a veterans representative at the college, at the major colleges. When your son, daughter go to college, if they set up a meeting with that person, and that person actually has the ability to talk to the registrar's office and inform them that they are getting Chapter 35 benefits, which, and I'll back up a little bit here. When you're going for Chapter 35 benefits, it all goes through St. Louis. So when you apply for that benefit, your application will go to St. Louis. St. Louis will send you their award letter, essentially. And then they'll take that to the college. They'll take that to that veterans representative. That veterans representative has the ability to talk to the registrar's office and put that payment on hold. And also the bookstore, put those payments on hold because they know that those benefits are coming in. And so they'll be able to, and usually, yeah, they do get paid retroactively from the time they start college. So if they miss a couple of months of those payments, then they'll receive them eventually.
And let's talk about this a little bit further. I mean, I'd have to look, y'all, to see what the exact monthly payment is, but I do think it's like around the $1,250 ballpark. So they pay up to 36 months. So if you take out your calculator, right? I'm taking my handy dandy calculator out right now. If I put in 1,200.
I'm sorry, can you clarify to me? Did you just say calculator?
I did.
You did. Okay.
There's no L in Missouri.
No, I have one of those, but I'm gonna go look for it.
Oh my goodness. 40. So what I'm seeing is $45,000 over 36 months, because that's the number of months of eligibility. 45 grand towards college. That is a big chunk, especially if some of you veterans have 2 or 3 kids in the house. That's a lot of money.
It is. And you know what I found? It's enough to pay for a community college. If you're going to a JUCO or a community college, it's enough to pay for that. But when they're going to a university, when they eventually move on to the university, it doesn't pay the full, but it sure pays enough of it to make it, to make it worth going to college, actually. And I hate to say it that way, but that's, it's expensive to go to college, and that takes a huge chunk of that out. And I know a lot of parents out there pay for college for their kids, and that takes a huge chunk out right there.
And I'm actually an adjunct professor on the side. So what I can tell you is that this benefit can be used with a Pell Grant. So if the student's eligible for certain federal grants, for instance, this benefit can be double dipped. So it's a pretty big deal. And I do believe that it's paid directly to the student, though.
Yep.
So here's the thing, right? If the student decides to take the money and blow it and not use it on the right things, that's on them. Okay, that is on them. But at least the opportunity was there for them to use it on the right things. They have to maintain good academic standing, so they can't be going to college and partying all 4 years away and having a 1.7 GPA. They got to have good academic standing, or they will lose that benefit.
Yep.
Now, college is not for everybody. Believe me, I know. I see it all the time. I see some of these people come across. I'm like, oh wow, they probably shouldn't be here. And then some people they're not interested in it, and that that's fine. But this benefit can also be used at accredited technical and vocational schools. So if maybe you got a kid that he's just not in he doesn't want to go to college, but maybe he wants to be a builder or a welder. Those people, those careers are making a ton of money right now. Well, this will help with that cost.
Hey, and let me go back a little bit, because I am seeing a lot of this in the chat right now, but that is for those benefits, the ChampVA and the Chapter 35 that we talked about so far. Those are for people who are your dependents and on your award. Okay, they have to be on your award. So if you have a child that's not on your award, I would urge you, if you're 30% or above to get that child on your award. So when you do get that 100% permanent and total, there's no extra legwork that needs to be done. They're already on that award. Okay. And it does cover that Chapter 35 and ChampVA. It covers spouse and dependents, children. Okay. So get them on there. Get them on there.
Yes, stepchildren do qualify, and your spouse qualifies. There's no time horizon on the spouse. So if your spouse is 40 years old and when she wants to go back to school or he wants to go back to school, it will work for them. Now, after further research, and I could be totally wrong here, Darrell will let me know, but let's say that you're 50 years old and you have a 25 or a 30-year-old, like an adult kid. My understanding is that this benefit will not work for the adult child. I believe that the cutoff is either 22 or 23.
26.
26. Real? Oh my gosh! Wow.
26 is the cutoff. Yeah.
Oh,
the 26th
wow.
birthday.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. But they've got to be. Yeah. They've got to go to an accredited trade school or a university. Absolutely. So we've talked about Chapter 35 and we've talked about ChampVA, but believe it or not, there's a couple of other things we haven't talked about. All right. And one of those benefits is that no cost healthcare and prescription medication from the VA. So once you're 100% permanent and total, you can go be seen at the VA for anything. And you talked about dental, and dental's absolutely right. But you can go see, if you're not service connected for a knee condition, but you hurt your knee, you can go to the VA and be seen for your knee. You know, and they'll treat it, and it's no cost to you. All right. They have to give you pain pills or ibuprofen or whatever it is. That's free as well. So they give you all that stuff. And then there's also, you know, most people aren't going to live forever. In fact, other than me, I don't know of anybody who will, but just kidding. Most people aren't going to live forever. So, you know, I get a lot of veterans that say, well, I don't need to be 100%. I'm not going to push for 100%. I don't want to fight that fight to be 100%. Right. But what about your dependents? If you're not going to do it for yourself, if you're not going to push that extra, do it for your dependents, because at 100% permanent total, you get your dependency indemnity compensation benefits for a spouse or dependent under the age of 18. No matter what you pass away with, or, you know, no matter what you have, when you pass away, they can apply for that DIC benefit and they can receive a portion of that 100% to help them. All right. So that's a very important one also. Just kind of throwing that one out there.
And I think that figure is between $1,300 and $1,400 per month tax free. That death benefit that's paid to the spouse.
Right. Plus that property tax benefit. If you receive a property tax benefit for your state, that property tax benefit, it remains.
Now, Darrell, and this could be a learning opportunity for me, so just some clarification on it. Now, I know the rule says you have to have been married to the person for 10 years. So if you get permanent total today, for example, you don't have to wait 10 years from today, like for your spouse to qualify for it, but you had to have been married for 10 years. So
actually,
right? Is that how it works?
Nope. Actually, it's 1 year.
Where am I seeing the 10?
It is, and because I was just looking all that stuff up. 38 CFR 3.22.
Perfect. Well, there you go. Now you have your answer.
1 year. You have to be married for at least 1 year, and then the spouse is eligible for those benefits. The 10-year is you have to be 100% rated disability within 10 years, or for any disability after 10 years. All right. Either 100% rated disability within 10 years or for a disability after 10 years.
There we go. That's where I got it. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is, if you're not going to do it for yourself, you're not going to push for the 100% permanent total for yourself. And that's kind of a sidebar. But
so we have a real life example, Darrell. I mean, both of you are here, right? We got Jenn and Darrell here. So explain to them, if something were to, you know, what does the time frame look like for you two and before Jenn could collect that benefit if something happened to you?
Well, Jenn and I have been together for 13 years, or going on 13 years. So technically she could claim common law The state of Iowa does have common law, so she could be eligible almost immediate. But if we just started dating, we've been dating for a year, we get married, then she would have, and I would have to hold on for 1 year for us to be married for that entire year, and then she'd be eligible to collect that DIC.
I have car batteries. I can keep it going for a year. Trickle chargers.
Right.
Right.
So one thing I wanted to chat about, I've had veterans call me as we're going through the process, and they're, hey, I just got 100%. That's awesome. Let's do the process now to find out if it's P&T, because they don't tell you. I mean, it's kind of, if you have your decision letter, some things that are referencing P&T will be identified in the decision narrative. But the day you find out, if you find out, because you've been tracking the app, or you find out because you've been tracking e-benefits, it's not immediately clear whether or not you are 100% P&T. So I walk through with my veterans to identify that. We log into va.gov, and then we search letters. Okay, so when you search benefit letters at va.gov or at eBenefits, it'll bring you to a list of veteran benefit letters, and you're going to find the veteran benefit summary and service verification letter. And on that letter, it's going to have a list of, it'll show your monthly benefit, it'll show your effective date of 100%, and it will say you are considered to be permanent and total disability, and that box will be checked. So that is the fastest, easiest, most clear way to identify if your 100% is P&T. And if that box isn't checked, you are either scheduler or TDIU. And TDIU can be marked also as permanent and total, even though it's a temporary benefit and you have restrictions related to that benefit. And that's just something that, as an aside, if you are TDIU and that box is checked, you need to kind of step back and evaluate the benefits that are available to you with that box being checked.
Awesome. Hey, this is all really good stuff. And we talked about like a lot of benefits that if you put dollar signs behind them, it would equate to a big old chunk of money. But let's talk about, and to me, I think that this benefit's probably the most important one, even more so than like the healthcare and the dental and the education benefits, right? It's going to surprise you, but it's the peace of mind. What is the peace of mind that a veteran gets with a 100% P&T rating, Darrell?
Oh, I mean, you don't have to deal with the VA anymore, right? So, and part of that peace of mind is knowing that you're 100% permanent total. You don't have to deal with the VA anymore, but you got to be really careful, because if you, and I've seen it, and I don't want to call it greedy, but you have veterans that go back in and they want to file for more disability benefits. Once you're at 100% permanent and total, leave it alone. Leave it alone. I have seen people go in and want to get an increase or want to do a secondary condition, and the next thing you know, it opens up that disability claim to be looked at again. And the VA, even though it says permanent total, once you go for an increase or once you go for something like that, it could potentially open that claim up and get a reduction and take you away from the 100% P&T. So that peace of mind, that peace of mind of having that 100% P&T, you feel a huge weight off your shoulders. You feel a huge relief. I'm there. I've hit it. I'm at the top of my game. I'm done.
You've won.
Yeah.
So one thing that I have successful veterans, we got there. We're 100%. We're 100% P&T. There's just kind of this, but I'm not done yet. A lot of veterans feel like, but I didn't get affirmation for this condition. I didn't get, I fought so hard to get this rating, and this condition still isn't affirmed and rated, and they're not recognizing that this happened to me. And I understand that perspective. And as I'm coaching my veterans through our goals and our process, we are not, in many cases, we're not going to get every condition identified and rated and service connected. And that's because our strategy is not always to just go after everything. A lot of people will go in, sit down with your VSO, and they say, oh, you have this in the military, you have this now, we're filing it. And you end up with 17 to 20 conditions pending, and you get not service connected, not service connected, not service, or a very low rating. That's not really appropriate and accurate. We strategize. Okay. So we look at, what do we have as far as evidence? Where are you starting from? And we strategize to work on the claims that are the path of least resistance. Okay.
That's right.
The low hanging fruit. And we are going to, so this is going to be a condition that is very difficult for us to prove. Okay. We're going to be in a battle. We're going to be making a more significant financial investment in being successful with this condition. However, these conditions that we've identified that you dealt with in the service, you're already service connected for. So then we talk about secondaries. We go after that low hanging fruit that has higher value. Okay. A lot of people come and, I've dealt with this condition. I've dealt with this condition for years and years and years. If you're service connected, if you're successful with being service connected, it may not be a compensable rating. They may acknowledge and they may service connect, but it could be a 0 or a 10% rating. Not really much compensable value for you. But as we're chatting, as we're identifying the conditions that you dealt with in the service or you deal with now, we can identify the more valuable conditions so that we can work towards, if 100% is appropriate for you and you've got the conditions, we can do 3 or 4 conditions to get you to 100%. We don't have to do all 19 conditions. And it would be futile, and it would be a way more significant financial investment in more and more and more nexus letters. And if you can do it with 3 or 4 or increases, you get the 100%. You still are affirmed for every single condition after all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jen,
once you're at that 100%.
Yes, absolutely. And it's, the goal is to get what you deserve. And the VA puts up a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of red tape. I mean, Darrell was a rater for years. There's a lot of red tape that you have to be able to navigate through. Now, I know that there are many of you who are watching today who are clients of ours. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. I see some of our former clients on here that we already got to 100% or helped on their journey. Thank you for your support. But I also see a lot of faces that I don't recognize. And you know what? Those faces, that was me at one point. I was the guy who was on the fence, who found Brian Reese on the internet, and I was a little skeptical. But I took that leap of faith, and let me tell you, it paid off. So if you're on the fence, if you're thinking about signing up, it's not going to hurt you to talk to a representative from our company to see if this program is right for you. I have seen a lot of sales schemes before, and let me tell you, that's not what this is. We have the link provided here. If you schedule a call with a member of our team, they're called business development representatives, and you determine that this is what you don't want to do, we will leave it at that. All right. We're not going to harass you or convince you to do something that you don't want to do. But what I'm going to tell you is that most of you are going to find that you have more to lose by not doing this. So if you're on the fence, get off the fence, come sign up for a call so that we can help you. Okay. And we will do everything in our power. And like Jen said, we're going to go for the low hanging fruit, the passive least resistance. Now, another thing I want to point out too is I know that there's 10% of you, if not 20% of you out there that are thinking, well, I would like to talk to somebody and I would like to sign up, but I can't find my medical records. I've moved 4 times and I don't know what box I put those medical records in. They just disappeared. You know what? Guess what? Life happens. Medical records disappear. Service records disappear. Maybe you don't have that documentation. We can take you wherever you're at. If you sent off a C file and you've been waiting for 6 months, 8 months or longer, you do not need to wait for that to be in your possession for us to help you. We can take you wherever you're at and help you move forward right now. So don't feel that you're stuck. Don't feel that you have to wait. All right. There is no time like the present. Sign up now.
You know what? And you're absolutely right. And right now is the time because, when it took me 16 years and I see it took somebody else 17 years. It took me 16 years to go from 10% to 100%. 16 years. Doing it on my own. A lot of frustration. So why not take that frustration off and let somebody who's got the experience help you out? You know, you can read the comments in the comments section. We've helped a lot of veterans get to 100%, right? A lot. So, and in a short amount of time, definitely not 16 years.
Yeah. Well, so, here's what you can expect when you're working with a veteran coach. So the word coach, by definition, is exactly what we do. Okay. So we're going to sit down and talk to you. You're going to come to us in a certain situation that you want to improve upon. Okay. Here's your current situation. Here's what you're currently service connected for. Not service connected for anything yet. Had some denials, been really struggling. I really need some guidance, and guidance is what you're going to get from us. Okay. We are going to refer you to resources. We are going to be a resource for you. Okay. But going through our process, as opposed to going through someone who is going to be a representative for you, you're in control. All right. You are owning and understanding every step of the process. I don't sit down with my veterans and talk about, all right, here's our strategy. Here's the condition. I make sure that my veterans understand why we are doing what. Why are we choosing this condition? And why are we obtaining this supporting evidence? So they understand every step. You have ownership. Okay. You are part of the process. You're not just trusting me to go do this for you. All right. You're part of it. We are walking through every single step together. We're doing a gap analysis, looking at where you're starting from, looking at the evidence that you already have. Okay. And then we're going to determine where's the potential. How far can we go? What's the first step? First best step, path of least resistance, highest value claim. Let's start with that big chunk. The big chunk. Let's make a big jump. Let's get you stepped up, big step. Then we step back and we do that again. What's the next best step? And how do we get there? We can give you resources for developing medical evidence, give you resources for understanding the criteria that the VA is rating you on, resources for understanding your process. Okay. We have a ton of veterans who are claiming mental health. Mental health is huge. Every veteran needs to be considering claiming mental health, whether it's PTSD, whether it's a secondary to chronic pain or lifestyle impact. Everybody needs to be considering this. So how do we develop that? We can help you with that. We have resources. We work with a third-party provider that is amazing, highly trained, highly educated, putting together supporting documentation for our veterans every day. So we have resources that we can refer you to. We have knowledge that we can share with you, and then our coaching forums. So this is one kind of a forward-facing training, but our coaching forums, all right, you can have access to different perspectives, one-offs. This veteran had this experience and shared it. Our slides and our processes, there's so much benefit to working with a coach, and that's what we do. We start and coach you from where you are to where your goals are. And we are with you every single step of the way. If you get a denial, we're staying with you. We're keeping you in the game, giving you a strategy on how to go back for success. This is all the package. And you can see in the chat how many people that have been successful walking through that.
Thomas Whitley, look at would you put up Thomas Whitley's comment? And then also we've got another one in here. If everybody can see what Thomas Whitley said, he says, I'm at 100% P&T. I'm also retired from the military, right? So there's one. We've got, there's a couple more up in here, like where we helped him out.
Steve Larson, I helped Steve. He's in there. Steve Larson, I helped him get from 20 to 90 in 6 months. And now we're just finishing up, getting to that 100% level.
Ryan Wilson here. You guys got me to 100%. Absolutely life-changing. I send everyone I know to you. Keep up the good work. Hey, Brian, thank you so much. And you know what? I see some really great questions here in the chat, and we want to try to get through some of these. So one that I saw earlier, and it kind of got buried, is he said, I have 3 kids and a wife. Can they all qualify for the educational assistance? Yes. As long as they meet that age requirement. The wife does not have to meet the age requirement. but the kids have to be under the 26. So yes, it doesn't matter if you have 3. It doesn't matter if you have 7 or just 1, right?
As long as they're on your award. Yep.
Yep. So there you go. And step kids, if they're on your award, then they would qualify as well. Let's see. Other questions here. Jacqueline says, how does one become a coach? Hey, I'll tell you what, check out our website to see if we're hiring. You never know when that's going to take place. You can learn all about that.
Hey, Travis, real quick. I know a lot of people are saying they're TDIU in here, and that's fine. But if you're TDIU, you can still work towards that 100%.
Yep. Okay,
that 100% permanent and total. And that way, you know, and with TDIU, remember there's a difference between being unemployed and being unemployable. Okay, so if you're 100% PT or 100% TDIU, you can still work towards that P&T, and that's something we can still help with. Okay, and there's a couple questions about flights in there, about the MAC flights or standby, flying standby. I'm not too familiar with those. Or do either one of you have experience?
Yeah, I've got some knowledge on it, and most of the knowledge that I have, I'll be honest with you, it's not direct. It's secondhand knowledge from very, very credible sources, though, people that have actually tried this out. So I just don't want to subject myself to that. But number one, the military, this is not just a benefit that's advertised to veterans. The military, it's called Flight A something. It's not. It's on paper, but it's not really. It's not a real benefit. And those few people that have been able to take advantage of it, I've heard stories where it's kind of like they're at the mercy if there's an available seat or not. And so basically you go to whatever location, you might wait around 12 hours, not even get a ride. Or, you know, it's just, I think that there's better, it's not a benefit, I think, that should really be advertised, to be totally honest, because it's not really a benefit.
Well, and right now with COVID going on, I don't know if there's any space available flights.
Right. It kind of reminds me, like, it's so funny. I teach, I'm an adjunct professor of business and education, but I was teaching a business class, and some employers, this is so funny. They advertise that they match FICA, which is your Social Security and Medicare tax. They advertise that as a benefit. I'm like, that's not a benefit. That's required by law. A benefit is above and beyond, right? So, yeah, I wouldn't really consider Space A flights a benefit, period. Right. My personal opinion.
So there's a couple of questions in here too about TDIU and P&T. All right. So if you're awarded TDIU and you go on and you get your P&T, so once the VA makes a decision on your TDIU, that decision stays. Okay. So you come back in later on and you're found to be permanent and total, 100% permanent and total. They will pay you at the 100% permanent and total rate, but that TDIU stays just in case something happens and you're reduced in one of your disabilities. That TDIU will then kick in again. All right, as long as you still meet the requirements. So it doesn't go away. Then you can, but once that permanent total comes in, that's the benefit you'll get, the permanent total. All right. And you know what, just to reiterate, because I know we've got about 6 minutes here, just to reiterate, 100% permanent total is the pinnacle. That's where you want to be. That's where, but not everybody, just like you said at the beginning, Travis, not everybody is 100% permanent total. And VACI will help you, but we'll help you legally, morally, and ethically. Okay. We're not going to, we're not going to fabricate claims, or we're not going to lie. First off, because lying is a federal offense, because you're lying to the federal government. So, but if you have those disabilities that get you to 100%, we definitely have qualified coaches, a lot of them, they can help you get to that 100% if that's what you deserve, legally, morally, and ethically.
Yeah, absolutely.
We use your evidence. We use your evidence. We help you to build upon the evidence, and that's how we promote the success. So you're not going to be successful without medical evidence. Medical evidence is key. And, you know, like Travis said, a lot of people have lost records. They're not able to obtain them. So we can help with developing evidence as well, but it's got to be on the up and up. I mean, again, we start with evidence, and, you know, we can bridge gaps with missing evidence, but without diagnoses and without medical evidence, you will not be successful, period.
And we partner with providers to help you obtain evidence if it's needed, and that's something that can be discussed with you and your coach. And we got a few minutes left, and so I know I got some Florida and Texas people present today, and you know, I said that we wouldn't really get too far into state benefits, but we will cover two very big important benefits real quick. First, Florida and Texas.
Two best states for veterans, most
yes.
veteran-friendly states.
Yes. So if you're thinking like, man, I want to change. If you're a veteran and you think you're going to be 100%, you might want to really consider Florida and Texas, because here it goes. You ready? At 100% permanent total, if you live in Florida and Texas, at your primary homestead, your property taxes are waived. It doesn't matter if you have a $100,000 home or $1 million home, your property taxes are waived. I'm a new landlord. I just became I just bought a house to become a landlord. So if I had a rental, you know, company going on in Florida, I could not use that benefit, for example, on my rentals. It can be used for your primary, only your primary residence.
Iowa too.
Iowa too.
That's good. So when I talk to those folks, what they're telling me is that by not having to pay that property tax on the escrow of their mortgage, they're paying they're saving $500 to $600 per month that they're not having to shell out on property. That's a big deal. In the chat, tell me what you could do with $500 or $600 a month. I bet there's charities you could give to. You could give more to your church. You could help people out. You could maybe do a home renovation. There's all kinds of things you could do if you had that extra money, right? I'm just
more beard oil,
more vacations.
All right. So I know we didn't get to a lot of the questions on here, but this would, you know, this is Facebook, so this will be there for a while. If you didn't get your question answered and you're curious, do that discovery call. Speak with a BDR. You know, if it's something we can help you with, we'd be more than happy to help you with it. All right, and there it is down at the bottom of your screen. If you just want to skip that and you know, just by the testimonials that have been thrown on here, sign up with a coach. A coach will get in touch with you. You know, we're not the exception to the knowledge here. We are the rule, right? So everybody has the knowledge. Everybody in the company has the knowledge. We're a big family here. We share ideas with each other. We share information with each other. And as you can tell by just all these Facebook Lives that happen every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, there's a lot of good information passed along.
Randy Felix over here is cracking me up. We were talking about what you could do with that extra $5 or
more beer.
He says you could drink more beer. Yeah, you could drink a lot more beer.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. Yeah. So if you have any questions, reach out. Absolutely reach out. If you're a current member, what's that?
We're so easy to find all over Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, hundreds of videos on YouTube. Search our website, vaclaimsinsider.com. Just type in whatever topic you're looking for, knees, ortho, psych, type things in and you'll get resources. But we're accessible from all of those sources. TikTok now. Brian's a TikToker.
TikTok.
So we are not hard. We are not hard to find. Just click, and you can be connected with somebody who can get you in touch with a coach.
We're all here for veterans.
But I want to thank you all for being here and sharing an hour of your day with us. And we look forward to seeing you around the hallways of VA Claims Insider.